will be the Deltic version. All passengers for a nostalgic and surreal musical journey along the East Coast Main Line in the 1970s and the early 1980s. Please remain on this platform. Passengers for a dreary monologue about the history of trains, change at Doncaster.
We apologise for any inconvenience caused.
Chapter 8. The Overnighter.
Just after the 9 o'clock news had finished, which I'd watched on my black and white dual standard Ferguson Valve TV in my bedroom, that Ballymos the cat stood by a lopsided wooden kitchen back door that was riddled with woodworm, asking to go out for the night. Good night, girl. As Ballymos disappeared into the darkness of the backyard, doubtless embarking on another evening of rat-catching adventures, a Class 31 trundled by on the main line with the freight working. It was a very cold, misty evening, and now the mist was thickening into a freezing fog. My thoughts turned to the coming weekend, when Norman and I planned to do an overnighter on Retford Station to observe the mysterious procession of overnight trains that come through. I certainly hoped that the weather would be a little kinder than it was this evening.
Don't forget to put the bolt on the back door.
It's already on. I've done it. Mother and Uncle Ernest have been watching the Sweeney on our new second-hand colour TV downstairs.
Have you put the bottles out for the milk?
Hey, put that bloody cat out while you're at it.
She's out, Uncle Ernest. And yes, I've put the empty milk bottles out, Mother.
Does anyone want a nice cup of cocoa before bed?
Hang on, I'll one if you want.
Have we got any Horlicks?
No, but I've got Bovril.
Well, I'll just have a cup of hot milk then, please.
You switch the telly up, Ernest. And Edgar, make sure you switch it off on the wall. And pull the air out in case we have a thunderstorm. Is the cat out?
Yes, I've already put her out. Oh, did I mention that me and Norman are doing an overnighter on Friday?
And overnight what?
We're spending the night at the railway station.
Why on earth would anyone want to stay on a railway station all night? I had to wait over half an hour for that Grimsby train on the day, and that was quite enough for me.
Yes, but this is different. We'll be watching trains come through, so I'm sure that we'll keep ourselves quite amused.
You've both had your bloody heads looking at. Sit on a bloody cold station all night for no good reason. You won't meet any bloody girls down there, you know.
Well, at least it's better than fishing.
Hey, now then, there's no bloody wrong with fishing. Now get yourself to bed, little bugger.
Every morning I'd call for Norman on the way to school. We'd usually set off nice and early so that we could stand on the iron bridge to the north of the station to watch the Aberdonian that was usually hauled by a Deltic. It was still very foggy as we stood on the iron bridge, but we could clearly hear an accelerating Deltic approaching from somewhere in the thick fog. It was 55015 Tudger's yellow nose and white window frames that suddenly appeared out of the fog, with its horns blasting as it hurtled past us, heading back into the fog towards Doncaster. That sounded well.
Yes, I thought that too. Here, I haven't told you about the dream I had last night, have I?
Well, if it's anything like that Barbara Dixon custard cream and two Ronnie's dream you told me about, now I don't think I want to hear it. Even a hardened psychiatrist would have found that one hard work.
No, it's not like that one at all. It's actually railway related.
Well, that is any guarantee that it's going to be palatable for this time in the morning.
It was about an old dilapidated rake of Mark 1 coaches. In fact, they were completely rotten and falling apart.
But is that it? I must say it's not up to your usual depraved standard.
We've got this decrepit rake of Mark 1 speeding through the night. But the only passengers on board are the cast of Coronation Street.
Quite a severe image, I'll give you that. Did you see what was hauling the coaches?
I never found out. In fact, I never found out how it ended. The alarm went off.
So anyway, what time shall we start the overnighter?
Well, I thought we'd start by getting to the station for the 1909 to King's Cross and stay about, I don't know, until the 0704 to Leeds.
12 hours? I thought we'd maybe stay, well, about 4.
Well, a lot comes through between 4 and 7. The Leeds train can produce a Deltic on 3 coaches. Now that's worth seeing.
Yes, we're going to have to take that one morning. Imagine the acceleration.
It'd be like a 3,300 horsepower drag racer. Imagine it.
But as long as the cast of Coronation Street aren't on it, might be alright.
Tadlock bars of gin and orange, and the speeding dusty buffet car, rocking like it might leave the rails. Dim lights go dark as the steam heating fails. Hilda Ogden polishes the rotting corridors. She sings to the ghost of Stan. Mrs. Walker pulls the pipes for land fair closure to drink as fast as he can, while the Corey goes train before it falls apart. Over the viaduct, broken dreams where Elsie Tanner first broke your heart. From Manchester slums all the way to Blackpool North, every night the Corey Ghost train runs back and forth. Over rooftops of broken TVs, aerials that no longer receive 405 lines from the past. Now they're all dead and gone, although it's hard to believe. Ernie Bishop got shot through the brain long before he ever boarded the Corey Ghost train. Minnie Caldwell is still missing her cat. It got tangled in Ena Sharple's hair, and that's such a shame about that. In the remains of the toilet is the smoke from Betty that slowly turns, seeping through the broken glass to toss Dana's Ivy till Slee's empty handbag burns. From Manchester slums all the way to Blackpool North, the Corrie Ghost train runs every night back and forth. Over rooftops of old road TV, aerials that no longer receive 405 lines from the past. Now they're all long dead and gone, although it's hard to believe.
So what was a surprisingly mild Friday evening in March 1980? I met Norman at the bottom end of platform 1, just in time to see 55007 Pinzer arrive on the 1846 to Hull, the Hull Executive, which made a marvellous departure from platform 2. Then 55021 Argyle and Sutherland Highlander pull into platform 1 with the delayed 1909 to King's Cross. 55012 Grappello with the 20040 York. Disappointingly, the 2114 to King's Cross was 47412, but the 2156 to Hull was Deltic 18 Ballymoss. Speaking of Ballymoss, Ballymoss the cat hadn't been seen since I last put her out 3 nights ago. But it wasn't yet time to panic, because Ballymoss would roam far and wild on her rat-catching activities. Indeed, she went missing for 5 weeks in the summer of '77, before sauntering back into the house without trouble in the world, and with a huge live rat in her mouth, which she promptly let go in the kitchen.
Look out, cat's got a rat!
Bloody optimist, get him to his spade!
In between the usual station stoppers, there was a fascinating array of freight and parcels trains that could produce anything from filthy Western Region Class 37s to Gateshead 46s and even the odd Class 40. But the night shift wouldn't really begin until the arrival of 1S66, the 2305 service to Edinburgh that could produce just about any steam heat loco that Finsbury Park could lay their hands on, from a Class 31 to a Deltic. On this particular evening, to our delight, a faded and rather filthy oil-stained Deltic glided behind the white wooden fence into platform 2. That's number 11, isn't it?
Isn't it one engine?
I think you're right.
Oh, hello. No, it's not on any. Oh, hang on. It's started again.
Well,
It's running.
I think we'd be safe to say it's on one engine now, all right.
Do you think it'll be next?
The next what?
The next Deltic withdrawal. I mean, look at it. It's in a bit of a sorry state, isn't it?
Oh, could be. You never know. You never know. Number 11 might be next to be overhauled.
I severely doubt it. I mean, look at it.
55011 Royal Northumberland Fusilier hauled its dirty rake of Mark 1 coaches and an array of parcel vans off into the north, with clouds of steam heat leaking from between the coaches. I then noticed the lights of an approaching train from the north.
Green on the main line.
A Class 40 thundered south on a parcels train.
020. Nice.
The temperature had dropped, and there was by now a mild frost, so we went into the waiting room on platform 1 to wait for the next station stopper, which was 1A40, the midnight train to King's Cross, which could also be anything with steam heating. The train came from Newcastle, meaning that the loco would come off Gateshead Depot, which was notorious for seldom cleaning their locomotives. So the only certainty was that whatever it was on the front of the midnight train to King's Cross, it would be filthy. As Norman and I huddled in front of the embers of the open fire, Arthur Brick, the station porter, came in with a metal bucket filled with huge lumps of coal and placed them on the open fire, almost smothering what little heat was coming from what was left of the fire. After a couple of minutes, yellow flames began to lick round the lumps of coal, spitting the occasional splinter of burning coal at us. Before long, there was a roaring fire burning away in the grate. He's a strange one, isn't he?
Just a grumpy old git if you ask me. I don't think I've ever seen him crack a smile.
Suddenly, there was the sound of a speeding Deltic outside. We both jumped up to witness the light-engine Deltic heading south.
Did you see what it was?
No, I think it was a regiment. I wonder where it was going.
I wonder if something's failed.
I was already starting to get tired, so Norman and I shared some coffee from my flask whilst we waited for the midnight train to King's Cross.
Have you got any sugar?
It's got sugar in.
Has it? Oh, yes. At least it's nice and warm now.
Yes. I could just drift off. Just as I closed my eyes, a Freightliner sped past northbound. Did you see what it was?
I think it was a peak.
Just then, another peak rolled into platform 1 with the midnight train to King's Cross. 1A40. Come on! We're missing everything in here.
I know we are.
We left the warmth of the waiting room and stepped outside into the freezing night air and walked along the platform. The Mark 1 coaches were hissing, leaking steam from underneath, and through the coach windows that were dripping with condensation, I could see the occupants of the front compartment. 2 middle-aged men in tweed suits, drinking Tennant's lager in the dim light of the carriage. As Norman and I walked past, one of the men in the suits stuck 2 fingers up at me and mouthed the words, "Something off" to me. We continued to walk to the front of the train and stood next to the filthy, strumming, oil-stained hulk of 46046. The guard blew his whistle further down the platform and the peak eased its train off into the night. As the compartment with the 2 men in suits came past, I stuck 2 fingers up at them and mouthed something off back at them. One of them angrily opened the window and threw a half can of beer at me, which struck me directly on the forehead, covering me in warm, flat lager. I'm soaked.
The northbound night Scotsman should be through soon. We don't want to miss that.
Yes, you're right. Let's sit on a bench so that we can see it coming. We sat on a bench halfway along platform 1, where we had a clear view to the south, and we could also see the colour light signal for the northbound fast. As we sat and waited for the Night Scotsman, I could feel the warmth draining from my body as the lager that had mostly gone down my neck and soaked my vest sucked the heat from me, making steam rise from my parka coat.
Getting cold, isn't it? Shall we go back in the waiting room?
What, Mr. Night Scotsman? The whole point of us being here is to see the night trains come through.
Green on Main.
Where are you looking? It's still double yellow.
Southbound Green on Main.
Why didn't you say southbound?
Green on southbound.
A Class 47 flew through, heading southbound with a long freight train. By now, I could see my own breath, and I was starting to shiver. Shall we go and have a quick warm-up by the fire in the waiting room?
We could take turns, keeping an eye on the northbound signal.
Good idea. I'll take the first turn by the fire, as I'm soaking wet with beer, and you keep watch on the northbound colour light. There was a bench seat just inside the door, which Norman sat on. Are you sure you can see the colour light from there?
Yes, I can. It's still double yellow.
The steam kept rising from me as my clothes dried off. The warmth of the fire seemed to make my eyelids feel very heavy. Suddenly, I was startled awake by a Class 40 passing at speed. What was that?
It was a 40 on the parcels train.
Well, why didn't you say it was coming?
Because I didn't see it. It was going south.
Well, did you get his number then?
No.
Well, what's the point of us even being here then? I could be in the comfort of my own bed listening to trains going by and not knowing what they are.
I thought I was supposed to be looking at the signal on the northbound fast, not the southbound too. I can't look both ways at once, you know. Don't you think that we should sit outside for a while so we don't miss anything else?
What time is it?
25 to 1.
The Night Scotsman's running late.
I wonder if that's why the light engine Deltic went south. Maybe the Night Scotsman's failed. Maybe the Deltic was going to rescue it.
I think you might be right. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. The dancing flames in the open fire began to mesmerise me, almost as if they were a chorus line of exotic dancers singing me to sleep. The warmth of the fire was so soothing and relaxing.
Flames are getting higher and the flames drawing you in. Let your sleep begin. Eyes getting heavy. The night Scotsman can wait. Whether you see it or not, we'll simply have to be down to fate. Flames are getting higher and higher. You don't need a hair dryer. Feel your eyes are beginning to tire. Higher. Flames are getting higher and higher. You don't need a hair dryer. Feel your eyes are beginning to tire. Look out the fire, look at the fire, look at the fire, look at the fire. Look out the fire, look at the fire, look at the fire, look at the fire. Look out the fire, look at the fire, look at the fire, look at the fire. Look out the fire, look at the fire, look at the fire, look at the fire.
Oh, you are joking.
I think they were the Night Scotsman. It was Bellymoss on the front.
We stayed until the 0246 to London, 1E35, which was thankfully hauled by Deltic 8, the Green Howards. As the train pulled out of platform 1 heading south, I swear I saw Albert Tatlock in the Buffy car, sipping a gin and orange. The other rather strange but very sad news that I received the next day was that the decapitated body of our cat Ballymoss had been found on the railway line by Uncle Ernest. Possibly she was hit by the Night Scotsman. How ironic would that be? Ballymoss, killed by Ballymoss.
It was a special announcement. This chapter terminates here. All change for the next chapter. Please ensure that you take all your belongings with you. This chapter terminates here. All change